can see it already, Louis, with the Millennium Exodia strategy. Fan favorite and his favorite as well versus Omar's K9 Vanquish Soul, a deck that has had some changes in the Forbidden and Limited list just recently with Stake Your Soul to 1, with Paradise Smasher Forbidden, and of course also with the Resin to 1. Now there are also new cards in the new set.
And you talked about some spicy cards and decks for Louis, and I think that playing Millennium Exodia is definitely a deck to consider spicy, right?
And I mean, he's known for it. He is a Exodia enjoyer since day one. He played this last year at YCS Lille, was on the feature with that, actually made day 2 with Millennium Exodia, and he's now back to run it back a little better, maybe even.
And he's on a winning streak as well, now starting off after the Ash on the Heart of Blue Eyes with a Wedju Temple, and this is not Master Duel, but we're still going to see some Millennium Engine here. Golem is being used from the hand to set to the Spell and Trap Zone. Now you get to set another Millennium card here. Are we going to see the Sengajin that is limited?
Surely we are. Where is it? He's searching for it, he's grabbing it. And I mean, it's not limited in TCG, is it?
Oh!
yeah, you're still in the Master Duel mode. But no, it is, of course. That also makes sense. The Millennium Shield, which when... Fuvalos, interestingly enough. That's actually a good timing here from Omar. It is unlikely that Louis would immediately go into the Snake Eyes Doom Dragon. He could, though, just make that contact fusion with 2 monsters in a Spell and Trap Zone. So we may as well just go ahead and use the Fuvalos right here, right now. Also, 2 quarter century has so far used from Omar there.
That is such a nice strategy for this Millennium deck. One of the strengths of the deck is you play around all of the Mulchamis because none of them draw you cards if your opponent special summons from the Spell and Trap Zone.
And I mean, Fugalos has only one good target, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, obviously, which is the boss monster of the deck. But I think at the point that this card has been summoned, it's too late to draw a card, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting 1 draw off of it if you use Millennium Ankh, but that's fine, right? This card does so much for the deck. It's a Spell and Trap Negate, and it can set powerful trap cards like Exot Fires of Rage. And Louis is not that old, but still, he's got an Ankh.
Oh, for sure, and he does have it now in his hand, and he is showing it to his opponent, and I mean, we are going to use that now. Okay, first of all, that's a cool thing. We all know, as you said, from Master Duel, those Millennium cards, people always use to pay life points for their Millennium effects.
Yeah.
Screw that, Louis has Millennium Ankh to reveal, so he can just special summon it out for free.
And I mean, can we appreciate the fact that in the field right now there are so many QCR cards? I mean, it's such a shiny field, right?
They're everywhere. The shield is secret rare, I think, though. But the Ankh, of course, is super shiny. You had to pay 2,000 before because you didn't have the Ankh just yet for the shield.
True.
The Ankh from the deck. And the question is now, of course, yes, you played around Fuvalos by special summoning those monsters from these Spell and Trap Zones. Those are still 2 bodies that you've invested cards in. What are you going to do with those? Are you just going to leave
There's
them
your
on the
answer,
field?
Silhouette Rabbit. We do actually give away 1 draw, and I do think that is absolutely the correct decision, because you, for your opponent getting a random card from a deck, get the Azarun, which we see here, the Angel Stature Azarun, which is usually the target in the Millennium Exodia deck. And that card is supposed to generate more value than a random card for your opponent. Therefore, I like the decision here from Louis. I'm sure we're also going to activate the Millennium Ankh eventually. So that leaves us with the Azarun Interruption, of course the Unstoppable Exodia, which is going to come out, and there also is the Blue Eyes Interruption, the Heart of the Blue Eyes Interruption in the graveyard too.
Now, Basti, I'm a little confused. I played versus you a bunch, and every time you set Silhouette Rabbit, or you play it to the field, you set a different card.
Fair, but I am also more of an Apophis enjoyer. I'm sure Louis also enjoys that because he's an all-around just anime enjoyer, always playing those decks, but he is all about Exodia today.
And I mean, Silhouette Rabbit is one of those cards that really have gone very underestimated during the past year. And I think that it is one of those cards that it's really strong. It gives 2 interruptions, not only 1, with a cost just of 2 monsters. And I think that trading 1 draw for 2 interruptions is very, very good.
Actually, might, depending on the deck, be 3 interruptions, because if you summon the Azarun statue while Silhouette Rabbit is on the field, you can pop a spell trap
Let's
card.
appreciate that moment there, though. We're collecting the pieces. Look at this. Even though we're not winning the game with revealing those here, it's still always nice to see. And he's also aligning them so nicely here. There there we have them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of them actually in the hand, which is not the place you want to have them here in this specific deck. Still, it nets us the Incarnate in the end.
Exodia, summon a fusion monster
Yes.
here, which is going to be the unstoppable force that sets you up with another trap card. These cards are so incredibly powerful. And Omar, while he has had 2 hand traps, this looks like it's a full field. Where's the rabbit gone, though?
I mean, Millennium Ang makes you put back everything except the Millennium monsters, so that is why you go into Silhouette Rabbit, because you're transforming your monsters into something that does not have to go back into the deck, so it does make a lot of sense. And Omar on the feature match stage here in Lille, and then facing a deck where he has to read every second card. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? On the one hand, you're like, okay, it's not a meta deck that I'm facing. On the other hand, it's probably, he's not aware of what the deck is doing, so I think it's probably rather a downside, right? Because you just don't know.
Yeah, the good thing is with these Exodia cards, when you're playing against them, there's not really too much hidden.
And to be fair, the Unstoppable Exodia has an incredible effect against Vanquish Soul, meaning that due to the recent... However, Izuna has been activated into the hand, and I think that it can deal very well against Exodia. Because I was thinking about Stake Your Soul, for example, which is limited right now. If you have the Unstoppable Exodia to negate it, then Vanquish cannot may have a brick issue and not be able to attempt to go for
Which effect was activated in the hand, though?
The Heart of the Blue Eyes was activated right in the beginning, but this is crazy actually, because we can just exceed summon into Valen on our opponent's turn here, and just Valen will be able to book the Exodia, because Exodia cannot be destroyed by card effects, but it can be targeted, and then it will not be able to set the Exort Fires of Rage in the end phase. Oh, okay, and Nash Knight works too. All right, that's even better actually. Get rid of it permanently, and Exodia may be one of the most powerful monsters ever, but right now it's only 1 Exceed material under Nash Knight.
And Omar has now... He's been part of history now. This is the first non-quarter century card he's played to the field so far. The Izuna and the Lupus are also super shiny Starlight rares, in fact. But the Nash Knight in rare sitting there. This is dominance, just attaching your opponent's strongest monster to your monster as material. And now Luis is sitting there with a lonely angel statue as a room.
Do you believe that K9 Vanquish was a good meta call for this event? Meaning that a lot of players have underestimated K9 right now due to the new Forbidden Limited list, and maybe play into K9 more often.
I will say this deck is a good meta call. If your opponents... I mean, the thing is, if you draw good at a good day...
That's the thing, right?
The deck is crazy. If you are having some issues with the deck and you are bricking a lot, it's gonna be a tough day.
Ooh, now Azurun, but the problem with Azurun here is Nash Knight can of course also be used on your own turn if you have another target in your extra deck, and you do of course have another target in your extra deck, so that Azurun also is just changing sides now, and Louis left with no monsters at all anymore after this. There is the second target, and so that Nash Knight keeps on being healthy and keeps on just eating up those monsters that Louis is putting up.
Izuna definitely showcases why she's such a strong card right now, and obviously Nash Knight, a wonderful target for Izuna to exceed summon, and obviously if you play 2 targets for the effect,
that is already it. Enough. Game 1 quickly goes to Omar, and it felt like Omar just with that second Molchami Fulos draw picked up the Izuna right on time to then have that immediately insanely strong play on turn 0.
Crazy how Louis' full field, like the full combo field, was just dismantled by 1 single hand trap. Of course, there were more cards used in that turn, but Ash Blossom didn't really stop Louis from doing anything. The Fualos just filled up the hand back to 5, but then the Izuna just took away the entire field once, and then when the Azurun was summoned as well, it did it again.
I think it was based on the meta call that each player had made for the event. For example, I think that Millennium Exodia can be a very good meta call if you don't expect K9. However, this is why K9 was a good meta call, because people was not expecting it, and they maybe not play around it and just activate the Izuna.
Would you have played a K9 package if you were playing in this tournament? Like not maybe like Jokul and everything else around it, or the new one, or would you have played Izuna in, for example, Dracotail or Vanquish Soul or something?
If I was going to play Dracotail, I would definitely consider Izuna, because it is a very good meta call, as we discussed right now. And I think that it is one of those cards that people, if not expected, can be very surprised.
I feel like with Izuna and Lupus, it feels a little like it was with Gamma and Driver back in the day, right? Like, you would always play that because they were so powerful. Gamma, to this day now, even is limited, so it feels like it is sort of the same, but the problem is you have to invest extra space for it, so that's a little bit more of an investment to the K9 cards.
But have you ever played Dracotail and then your opponent just summoned a Lupus from hand and then made Typhon on your turn? This is tough. You can't go into Athelion anymore. It's really, really tough. Actually, Lupus still has some play in those situations. You can summon a Typhon, then attack over something, go into Zeus if you have the extra deck space. So comparing Lupus to Driver.
Okay, I see it.
And update is Driver, right?
So Driver is, of course, the best card. I always drew it. I love it.
And I mean, to be fair, like the Millennium Exodia deck that Louis is playing here today, it doesn't play into the K9 cards that much. It's like literally only that one card that he had there. He had to open up with the Heart of the Blue Eyes, and that one is playing into the K9 cards. So it was a little bit of an unfortunate start for him there, to be honest, because no other card in his deck literally plays into it. When he goes first, of course, he was also running a couple of hand interruptions, but that one specifically, maybe he should have not even activated. Maybe he disregarded the K9 cards because he didn't need it, right? He already had other cards to play with, so he could have played around.
But I mean, the Heart of the Blue Eyes ups the ceiling for the deck. So if you're not knowing what you're playing against, you think maybe there is not going to be too much K9. I think it's the right choice. You can either side it out against the deck, actually, to not at all play into the K9 cards. But I think that this deck also sometimes has some consistency issues. So if you're siding out 3 Heart of the Blue Eyes,
I mean, I think that you have to take the risk. As we saw, a single Izuna can singly handle the field of the Millennium Exodia. And I think that you just take the risk, go with the fact that you know that Heart of the Blue Eyes will trigger Izuna, so you just go for it and risk it and try to play with other side deck options, for example.
That is true, but now, of course, that is just absolutely not the start that Louis was hoping for. He won the dire roll, which is, let's face it, pretty important when you're playing Exodia in that kind of an environment. And then you do have that immediate start, you have all the combo pieces, you get to combo, and then just one interruption from your opponent just completely makes you crumble. That is, like, already now in game 2, him with the back against the wall, really.
I mean, Izuna and Lupus are hunting for justice, but that felt criminal what has been done to Louis there in this matchup. Just Nash Knight activating twice is such a powerful tool to dismantle some fields, especially if the fields just put up 2 monster, basically.
And I mean, this is the important part about Nash Knight, that players need to play 2 targets for it, because we saw that how important it was to activate the effect not one time, but 2 times, and take so much advantage.
Speaking of 2 times, the number 2 also is relevant here as we're still in round 2, but also ahead of game number 2. So players are ready. Let's go back to the table.
I'm very curious to see if Luis will have the Heart of the Blue Eyes in his deck right now, because, as you mentioned, Leo, it is one of those cards that will trigger the K9, and you probably can afford to side it out. However, you hit very bad your consistency.
All right, Louis, this time starts with the Shield. That's honestly a way better start, because Shield of the Millennium Dynasty, of course, allows you to get Millennium Aang without using that Blue Eyes. So we are already all ready to go. And I mean, for the Millennium Aang, there is no really any card in the game that can negate it, right? So when you have that in the hand, it's always going to resolve. It's always going to give you the Exodia. So that's a good start for Louis here for sure.
The Delta.
Okay, fair. All right. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, sure. That will work. Oh, Pot of Prosperity now too. That's huge.
I mean, you're saying if you want to go down that rabbit hole, but I've actually talked to some players in this event, and the Psyframe cards are making a comeback here. These have been so powerful always. Back in the day it was only Gamma, but then after a few years and a few Forbidden Limited lists, people were like, why don't we just play Delta? This card is just as cracked as Gamma was against monster-heavy strategies.
Yeah, I agree. It's good for sure. I played both of them at the French Nationals. I really also like the package, and I think Gamma now going first also is really good against a lot of decks when you are, for example, playing the Mitsurugi strategy, because the Mitsurugi strategy, when getting drolled, usually does not have a monster on the field, and then you can just go off. Oh, what do we have there? Speaking of droll, there is Droll and Lockbird. That's usually not the card you necessarily want to have against K9 Vanquish Soul, though. So is there really anything that is adding to the ceiling here. That all seems just like more engine.
What is the spell card?
That's Gravekeeper's Inscription, but I think
That
you
is
can only
Inscription?
activate Gravekeeper's Inscription at the start of the main phase, so that one doesn't help you either. So the only non-engine card revealed next to the Droll and Lockbird is one that we cannot activate, so do we just take the Droll and Lockbird and hope it does something? That doesn't seem like the greatest plan, but that's probably what Louis is considering right now.
I mean, I wouldn't even cite Inscription against Vanquish Soul.
It has some applications regarding the effect of Lupus to summon itself from the graveyard.
Yeah.
But I think that it's not one of those cards that you really want against the Vanquish Soul deck.
Imagine resolving this and your opponent summons Lupus from hand.
I mean, it's the curse, right? It will definitely happen.
Okay, we did in the end though take the Droll and Lockbird. Here comes Millennium Ankh. Is there anything in response? Maybe another Molchami Fuvolos from Omar? Nope, there is not. So this time Omar will have to work with the hand that he had in the beginning of the duel. 1, 2. Did we draw one this time? I don't think we did. That's always great news for any Exodia player, just having all of those pieces in the deck.
Gorgeous.
Exactly. Once more, the full. And actually, are you seeing
yes.
that? It's the one from. Oh, wait, hold on.
That's Fuvolos.
Oh, it's cast. It's cast to reveal for Millennium Ankh. It's double Fuvolos even. Ay. But what I wanted to say, that's the one from the WCS pack there.
Yeah.
The Exodia with the French flag. Louis, as a Frenchman, of course, happy to use that. He pulled that, I think, at the World Championship even. I saw it. So he got lucky with that. But also, when you're already playing the deck, he deserves to get
It
it
was
too.
meant to be.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves it like Louis.
I mean, if you are French and you play Exodia, you have to play the one with the French flag, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Ankh is being put under the deck now, or in the deck. Give it a good shuffle on the side of Omar. The shield is going to be put back into the deck as well, right?
No, it's the Millennium Monsters are allowed to stay on the
Oh.
field. And there comes the Incarnate. Anything to counter this time. Oh, I think we have another Molchami Fuvolos in the hand of Omar. Oh, but there is the secret village. Louis is part of that secret spellcaster union, you could say, and he disallows, he forbids Omar from using spell cards as long as there is no spellcaster monster on his side of the field, and I think Omar will struggle with that task because there is not many in his deck.
But as I can see in Omar's hand, right now there's not a single spell in his hand, right?
Fair.
So I believe that it may have some applications regarding his art, for example, for Madlove, but right now it doesn't be a very serious problem for Omar at the moment, at least.
true.
The good thing, I think it was cited in because Louis just had to find something to put in for the Heart of the Blue Eyes. Just any card here, maybe it helps. But of course, Vanquish Soul is a deck that needs so many monsters in the main deck, just like Dracotail, because you have to reveal the attributes in the strategy. And if you have 4 spells in your hand, you cannot reveal anything.
And I mean, also just generically, I think you always cite this in going first because we saw there is Dark Rune no more right now in the format. There is Forbidden Droplet also a lot of the times, maybe also only coming in from the side deck. So I feel like going first is just a no-brainer to bring in from your side deck, really. You always want to have that as a backup plan to be safe from Dark Ruler.
If there's only 1 spell in your opponent's hand, it's already worth it. Of course, it's very unfortunate if there is absolutely no spell, so it is a waste of a card on your field. But maybe, of course, still Dr. Madlove is going to get the Vanquish Soul start, and then you cannot go for it.
And I mean, also K9 may go through, for example, a K9 Cage or any spell. So I guess it has a lot of applications. And obviously, Exotic Fires of Rage is a tremendous card. The effect to destroy the whole field of your opponent is very, very crucial. However, Vanquish can play around it, right, with their effects to protect themselves from distraction. So I want to see how Omar will face it.
But you need the Vanquish Soul start or just Resin that protects itself. Caesar Valles also protects itself, but I think you can still deal a lot of damage with this. That's pretty neat, actually. But analyzing this matchup, I think Vanquish Soul K9 might be the worst matchup that you could ever have with Exodia, because we saw what one Izuna can do. Of course, you can play around that, but that lowers your ceiling as well. And Exotic Fires of Rage, yes, there are protection effects. You are having some issues there with spell or trap cards that don't do anything. But we're going to the turn of Omar now. Omar is drawing a card. No spell cards for you, good sir.
However,
see.
I think that he drew a spell card, right?
Really?
Yeah. I think it was his 6th card. Maybe a Prosperity, if I'm not wrong. But right now, Louis has another spell negation, so
Yeah.
in any case, it cannot be activated. And I see a lot of feints in his hands. So we may see right now, yes, Holy Shoe will be activated, revealing Mad Love. And I think that now Vanquish will showcase why they're hit in the Forbidden Unlimited list and their true power, and how they actually adjusted to this current meta state and the current Forbidden Unlimited list.
Actually, really well played by Louis here to have the shield on the field still, because it has 0 attack, so it's protecting the big Exodia from the Holisu, because it only takes the monster with the lowest attack from your opponent. Also, Dr. Madlove. Dr. Madlove is really good with the bouncing effect against the Exodia. There, Holisu, of course, having revealed the Madlove, which is a card that you like to see on the side of Louis, because it just adds a spell card, which does not really help. Unless somehow Omar gets a Sorcerer on the field, but then again you have Exiled Fires of Rage.
I mean, if Omar can access a spellcaster, he can activate his spells.
Yes.
I wonder if there is any link that he can go through, or any monsters that can access that is a spellcaster in the K9 Vanquish.
Anima. Just make Anima.
I don't think we're running Anima. I don't even think we have a monster that would be suitable for Anima, to be honest. And I think overall, just looking through his extra deck, there does not seem to be any kind of option in terms of spellcasters. So we will be working without spell cards here, or we get the spellcasters off from Louis' side as well, and then maybe turn off the Secret Village of the spellcasters that way. But now we have decided to immediately use Exiled Fires of Rage. And there is no response from Omar to that, so goodbye to those 2 monsters from Omar, and Omar will resolve with searching for Vanquish Soul's start. How much of a start is that really, though, if there is Secret Village of the Spellcaster still?
It's not really doing anything, and also, most importantly, you have 2 monsters from the field gone. None of them can go into Rock of the Vanquisher, so your cards in hand are dwindling on the side of Omar. What is going to happen next? Prosperity?
Well,
I don't know about that, my friend.
Not like that. There is still the Secret Village, and Omar quickly takes it back into his hand as he was not legally able to activate that card there.
Normal summon roll or
Oh, we're passing! This time it holds on for Louis, and now the surprise. Every time when I played against Exodia, Millennium Exodia for the first couple of times, I was surprised by the fact that Exodia Incarnate not only activates in your end phase, but now as we're still in the end phase of Omar, also in the opponent's end phase to set another card to the field. And Louis, you can really see the breath of relief there. He is really happy that this one should very much go into his direction here.
Now the next surprise, the unstoppable Exodia Incarnate can gain so many attack points on your turn, but it deals 1000 damage to you before you can enter your first battle phase. So it is going to get up attack points up to your life points. So it's going to punch for 5000 next turn.
Indeed, so we have to work for another 3000 if we want to end the game here this turn.
And I mean, when I play against Millennium Exodia, the Secret Village is always on their field, so I think it's part of the combo, right?
Yeah.
It is a mandatory card to have.
There is no other way. I think at this point, Louis also, with the Secret Village of the Spellcasters and another Exiled Fire of Rage, is set up to not only win in 1 turn, but also win in 2. I think that's a pretty neat start for him here. But of course, you want to try and close the game out, not take any chances. This is a YCS after all. You want to win every single game that you can, as fast as you can.
He's checking his extra. He's probably checking himself. Do I even have anything that can bring me another 3000 attack points here? I think we will need Millennium cards for that, but do we have more Millennium cards? Oh, yeah, okay. That one is not the one we are desiring, though, because that Millennium shield only has 0 attack points, of course, but it brings us Millennium Ankh. And Millennium Ankh possibly brings us another Incarnate, and that can just be summoned out as well, and then we have more than enough attack points to go for.
Can I say that I love the fact that Louis is treating Seal like a pendulum scale and someone is from the pendulum zone?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Are we just activating it? Surely we are. Yeah, Millennium Ankh. Make that 2 Exodia Incarnates. Make them both have 5000 attack points. And again, like every single time, non-stop, we're just revealing the pieces. It's all about every single piece of that beautiful Exodia. And you gotta put the Exodia hat on top though. When you have the French flag on it, you have to put it on top. Sorry, I don't make the rules, Louis. You are the player here. Oh, but we had to pay 2,000 life points for this again, actually. Hold on, then.
No,
Wait,
we're actually
wait.
missing game again. But you can go for a quick rank 5 exceeds if you have it. But now you can't summon. Oh, wait, you have not. Oh, yeah, you've used Ankh now, so you cannot summon from the extra deck anymore. You cannot summon at all anymore after you've used this.
To be fair, here a Holy Shoe and a Borgir can steal the game.
I mean, you don't have game anyways, right?
No.
You only have 6,000 damage because you're getting to 3,000. And now this is getting closer. You have one more turn after this because you are actually going to go down to 1,000.
But no, we are conceding. It is Louis taking game number 2 now. It worked out in the end. The double Exodia Incarnate combination is bringing him here the second game. And now that third game will be interesting because in Louis' side deck, I see a lot of options coming in for going second. Not specifically for that matchup that we're about to have here, but still it could be generically applying. And I'm not going to spoil it just yet, but there could be some cool things coming in.
I mean, when you bring a Millennium Exodia to a YCS, obviously you need game 1 to go first and establish a very good field as we saw. But you know that the true weakness of the deck is that going second, there is some issues. So I believe that going second, you need to have a lot of side deck options, right?
For sure.
I think going second, you just punch with Exodia. That's what I would do, at least. If you were to go into this tournament and you would prepare your side deck, what cards would go in there? Like the regular staples like Droll and Lockbird, would you play something like this in the side deck? Would that be a main deck consideration? What would your attempt be?
I think that probably it's better to go for an approach that you let your opponent establish a field and go with field breakers, specifically in the Millennium Exodia deck. At least this is what I was going to do. For example, Lava Golem may be an option since you do not commit to a normal summon, right? A Rush Fear mode also will be an actual application. Or another great cards like Super Poly. I mean, those cards that can clear the field and also let you play in your turn.
Honestly, I think in this current state of the format, just generically speaking, not necessarily for the Millennium deck, I really got to love Forbidden Droplet again. That card wasn't super popular in the last couple of formats, but right now it feels insanely strong. And also, you mentioned the super polymerization, I think is just really, really good right now too.
As a Dracotail player, I am terrified of Forbidden Droplet because this card does not only negate the monsters on my field, which I not too often care about, but you can actually dodge the Dracotail Flame, and that is such a huge card. You don't get to recycle cards, you don't get to draw cards. And the effect, of course, also resolves that you desperately try to negate. So Forbidden Droplet is a heck of a card right now.
It is one of those cards that have been back and forth in the current meta stage for the last year. But I believe that right now, especially against Dragon Tail, is a very good option because not only the Arthalion hurts a lot not to get resources from the graveyard back in the hand, but also, as you mentioned, dodging those traps is very, very important.
But what do you side deck in versus Vanquish Soul K9? That is a deck that, when it draws well, it seems so resilient against everything.
I think you're probably just going to go with I think Droplet and Dark Ruler More aren't too bad against those decks. If you are playing this and there is something like Lava Golem, I think Lava Golem is lovely against the deck too. I think that can definitely work. So that would be a no-brainer for me as well. And then I think a card that also, I know you love a lot, but also has been somewhat popular in side decks lately is Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. I think Phantasme right now also has a good standing in the format. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this card this weekend, but also here in this matchup as well.
Also costs 0 points in Genesis.
There you go.
That's very important.
Because there are no Link monsters.
Well, absolutely true. But
would you consider bringing Phantasme against the K9 Vanquish Soul? Meaning, meaning that now you trigger K9 though?
Well, when they go first, I don't think that's that big of a concern, honestly. When they go first, they can just do their K9 things anyways, regardless, usually. Like, they will have access to Jokul very often, and then that just gets it going somehow anyways. So I feel like you can take that risk for sure.
I see.
I think versus decks with a lower K9 engine with only Izuna, I would maybe not play. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is Game 3 of Round 2 of YCS Lille. Let's go in.
One card we didn't talk about at all, is the Dimension Shifter, which also is in Louis' deck, of course. But the thing is, this is not the matchup you want to have it for, because, of course, Vanquish Soul historically known to also be able to play Dimension Shifter. But here we have, okay, honestly, that means he's not starting with the Vanquish Soul cards, so maybe that actually is a W here for Louis, because we are just facing the newest of the K9 cards here, the normal summon of K9, Noroi.
This card is crazy. It special summons out a K9 from your deck, most likely Izuna, that is going to send... Oh, we're actually going for a Jokel here. All right. Of course, Jokel can then search an Izuna if you want that. But Nora also has a crazy effect that is tribute a K9 monster. Look into your opponent's hand.
So, okay. Jordan Lockbird, though. And this Jordan Lockbird actually isn't that bad, because we deny the search of Ripper, and that therefore is not that...
But we enable the special summon of Izuna and Lupus then.
Ah, you're right. It's all ups and downs, really.
And Noroi has a very, very unique effect to look in your opponent's hand and banish a card until the end phase, right?
It doesn't banish. It just peeks.
Ah, it just peeks.
Has a little look, yeah.
So it's very important, because when you are facing, for example, Millennium Exodia, you want to see the options that your opponent has for going second.
Yeah.
And this is very, very crucial in order to know what you're going to play, I guess.
Well, against any kind of deck, right? Just when your opponent goes second, you already know their hand. That's such a big advantage. Or do we still go into Ripper, or do we just go for another rank 5 option?
I think that you are
still Ripper.
Okay, you need to go to Ripper due to Noroi effect, because I think that it's mandatory to go for a K9 from the exiting, since the target is face up on the field.
True. Okay, there comes another copy of Jokel, actually.
Oh, and there's another Noroi from the hand. So we have a lot of cards. Actually, it might be called Noroi, but since we're in France, I will go for Noroi.
Sure.
I think it's acceptable.
Yeah, right? So Izuna is also still live there. There is a good chance that you're going for Izuna immediately here. You can commit into Nibiru the Primal Being because you have summoned the Ripper, so that is fine. I think if you want to go for Velen and then Izuna, send Lupus, summon that back, go for Nash Knight, that's a really big field.
Oh, there is the Izuna now. Izuna effect to send. So Louis all of a sudden doesn't even really play against Vanquish Soul anymore, but it more so just looks like a pure K9 that it is facing. The problem for Louis, though, is it still puts up a remarkable field here.
Omar just picked his whole deck except one card to look for Lupus, and it was obviously the last card.
Always like that. We all know that feeling.
Every time I'm looking through my boxes to find some cards, some random comments, they're always in the last box. Lupus is activating now. Honestly, this feels like Gadgets in 2014, this field. Just 3 Exceeds monsters next to each other. It's crazy.
I see what you mean by passing, just like that. Okay.
I like that.
That is cool, because now we, of course, have the quick effect of Lupus on the opponent's turn to still go into an Exceed summon, but then we can just decide more what we want instead of already immediately committing into it.
And on how Louis has approached this matchup and what card has been picked for going second. And we didn't mention the most important strategy of Millennium Exodia going second. Just draw the 5 pieces, right?
Well, that always works.
It's impossible.
Honestly, just throw a Dark Hole here at Omar, right?
Yes.
Like, imagine Dark Hole. That would be so strong, right? Geki, of course, doing the same thing. Honestly, any kind of interruption, even Book of Eclipse would be huge here.
Yeah, and any breaker would take this field apart. Sometimes you just have to go back to the basics. Let's see a Raigeki here. Of course, if Louis is going for a hand trap approach and hasn't drawn any except for Droll and Lockbird in this situation, that would have been crucial.
Okay, hold on, Lava Golem. We don't need to normal summon. Let's just take away Lupus and the Valon. And as we discussed, there is not that many hand effects from Louis. Therefore, the Ripper not that big of a concern, really.
Lupus banished as well. Ripper not doing too much except for Heart with Eyes of Blue, or Heart of Eyes of Blue, but that wouldn't do too much here as well. Louis just needs to find a starter here. Wedge Tempo, looking good here. What can you put into your spell trap zone? Is it going to be a hand trap, or is it one of your Melanka?
Sengajin, that's massive! So we're generating value even with the monster that we put into the spell and trap zone. Again, putting it into the Pendulum zone here, and Louis Oh, he knows it. He knows there's a way for him into this match. He may have lost that first game crucially, but he's absolutely online here in this third game now.
And I mean, right now there are not real interruptions from Omar's side of the field, right? Because Louis right now will not trigger any effect, either in the HUD or in the graveyard for Reaper to be activated. And I think right now we can experience how Louis has prepared his deck for going second. And as we mentioned, we saw Lava Golem, obviously very important when you go second against K9 Vanquish Soul, and obviously Jordan Lockbird to make your opponent establish a semi-field, as I like to call it.
Wait, what I just realized is the Millennium effects. They also activate in the hand, right? To place themselves into Spell and Trap Zone.
Yeah.
So that is another way to play into the K9s, but also another way to interact with Ripper, I just realized. So that is a bit more problematic than I actually initially anticipated.
You started Wedge Temples, so...
Yeah, that's massive, for sure. That is really, really good for them there.
Do we have any offensive ways to go into a Link 2 here, so we don't set up a Azarun statue, but we are using the bodies of Sangajin and they shield here?
I would have liked Snake Eyes Doom Dragon to just get rid of the Ripper preemptively, but we are activating... Oh wait, no, we're not activating. We're using the effect of Sangajin, revealing the Millennium Ankh.
Also, by the way, you're now saying you can use effects from hand, and that plays a lot more to the K9 cards. Find the Lupus on this picture. Where is the Lupus? Is it in banishment? Does it not do anything anymore? Do you not care about graveyard effects here anymore?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, there's still Ripper, right? But
yeah, so there is one interruption from Ripper, but I think we can live with that, to be honest. I think that's not that big of a deal. Are we going to activate? I mean, we could just keep the Sangajin around, honestly. It is a lot of attack points, so we don't even necessarily need to go into a Link summon here. Just keep the attack points of Sangajin to help clearing those monsters on the field. Louis, probably now, this very moment, also realizing that Ripper would be able to negate the in-hand effects of the Millennium cards. So is he even going to activate them before the main phase 2? I mean, he doesn't really need to because he can't...
Enter battle phase, right?
He can does he activate the Millennium Ankh before, though? I feel like
then he can't summon Golem anymore.
Yeah.
I think he can just enter battle phase to clear some problematic cards, and then go to main phase 2, establish a very good field.
Okay.
I like that. You can't really... if you're just clearing one monster, I think the deck struggles with clearing more than, and then leaving your opponent at 2 monsters on the field is kind of forcing your Exiled Fires of Rage immediately. Yeah. So I like what he is doing, getting just rid of more summons on this turn, but
yes,
there we go.
We've learned. Okay, yeah, we are aligning. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, the one arm, because it was in the hand, is down there, but still, that is all 5 pieces. Once more, not immediately netting him the win through the hand effect, but we are still going to get a massive payoff from that Millennium Ankh here.
And again, the right arm is on the hand, right?
I think you clear Izuna and Ripper, probably, yes? Right?
Yes.
Because Lava Golem
100%.
can run over the Sangajin.
Sure,
but
whatever.
That's fine, no?
Yeah.
So I think that you are just going to be super fine with that. Another cool thing would be just attacking over the Lava Golem for a lot of damage, but I think taking care of the Ripper and Izuna is way more important. Those level 5 monsters can spell Disaster. Also, I've seen a card in the hand of Omar that was stopped by Drone and Lockbird before, and that is a spell card. So this Exodia is going to give so much value.
I believe that we have left a trap in our deck for a potential...
Sure, yes, we have to. I mean, that's the whole concept of our deck, We gotta have at least one. I can see maybe siding out one, but there is at least one for sure, 100%.
My days, that deck has a lot of bricks. That is a lot.
Okay. Oh, we are attacking the Lava Golem, though. All of our theory goes overboard here because Louis just wants to have that 3,000 points of damage that he's dealing right there, bringing himself ahead in life points.
I like that.
But leaving his opponent with at least the Izuna or the Ripper. Surely we leave him on the Izuna, though, because the Ripper can just search something next turn. So, yes, Izuna will stay on the field while the Ripper is attacked over by the Sangajin.
I mean, I trust the master of Millennium Exodia, right? He definitely makes the right option right now.
Oh, and I think we're immediately going to the end phase. Exiled Fires of Rage. Lonely Izuna on the side of Omar is going to get another card. 3 cards in hand and 1 Lonely Izuna against the almighty Exodia. Who's gonna win?
And to be honest, we have a spell negation right now, and also an amazing trap card that can destroy the whole field of our opponent.
It's huge.
And there was a high chance that Omar picked up Vanquish Soul cards here because he's gone through the majority of the K9 cards as well. And Vanquish Soul cards just do not work well if you don't have a lot of cards. So 3 cards in hand. Pot of Prosperity is being activated. I think that is going to be... he's already twitching with his finger there. Wants to point at the Exodia because this is... I think this is for sure a negate. You always ash this card, no?
I think
I think you only banish 3 here, to be honest, to give yourself the chance to maybe make Louis think that he can let it through. But now when he banishes 6, I don't think you ever allow that to your opponent.
Yeah, I think right now it is one of those game states that you know that potentially Pot of Prosperity will be negated, so you just banish 3, not to lose a lot of resources, and also for the mind game to maybe Louis thinking that he should let it go.
No, it is resolved. Okay, normal summon Jockle.
Oh, how many cards does Louis have in hand? Because this might look like 1 card now.
Exiled Fires of Rage. 1 card remaining in the hand of Omar. What could it possibly be to maybe still lead him to victory here? It's not going to be easy, but...
And I mean, as Leo mentioned, Vanquish cards...
Okay, it's Lantern.
That's a card.
Hold on. We are so in this again.
But wait, how many actual rank 5 monsters do we still have here for this play? Of course,
we still have a Nash Knight.
Oh yeah, we haven't used... Oh my days.
Yeah.
Yes.
With 2 interruptions, right?
Nash Knight could be massive here.
Yep, and of course you can activate the Jockle as well. That was the perfect card to have in hand there. Perhaps the Exiled Fires of Rage was used a little bit preemptively. Could have waited for a Nash Knight activation and then activate the effect.
Yeah, that works.
Destroy everything. Sometimes if you want to disrupt your opponent before the big hitters come out, that is going to punish you in the end. Sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just all about this resource management.
We do search for Izuna now. No card effects in hand were used from Louis, so that Izuna, for the moment, will have to stay where it's at in the hand. But still, we keep on going here. We see there is Vanquish Soul cards in the deck of Omar, but he's not working with those here in this game. He goes all in on the K9 cards, and they may lead him back into this match here, really, while he searches for a case for a K9.
Just going to give you, at this point, another Jockle, follow-up Lantern if you're playing too. Noah, again. How many cards do you even still have in your deck from the K9 engine? There can't be too many.
He is playing a really big K9 package. You could almost, like, we only see K9 cards here in Game 3, but he also is running more K9 cards than Vanquish Soul cards. Looking at
I know, we've already seen more K9 cards than any Vanquish Soul.
It makes logic, right, to go for a more K9 approach than a Vanquish Soul right now due to the new Forbidden Limit list, and obviously the new K9 support was very, very good. The fact that you can access your K9 engine so easily, it makes the deck very, very strong right now.
But hold on, everyone. Now, do we even have 2 Nash Knight targets left in our extra deck? Because we used Pot of Prosperity, so Omar was required to think ahead enough to realize that Nash Knight will be his only push left, and then he maybe, and I think spotting it there, of course is the Silent Honor Arc, but is there another one to use the effect of Nash Knight again next turn? Because this is still scary from Louis. He still has 2 strong monsters on the field. He still has the Vedger Temple on the field, so he definitely has a way into another Millennium Ankh here.
I'm pretty sure that Omar probably just banished any extra deck monster that has to do with Vanquish with this hand, and just play pure K9 at this point.
You would imagine so, and that is a turn pass. Play goes back to Louis, and he has that Vedger Temple already set up on the field, and that is not only an activation, but he can use that effect again to access more Millennium cards from the deck.
And he has the Golem in hand as well, that was added before in the last one, so plenty of resources for him to play, but we have seen what one Izuna, one Nash Knight does to his entire full field. Can he answer it now? Is there a way for him this turn to go for an SP Little Knight to force out this card, perhaps?
I mean, when you just go SP Little Knight here, you can always respond to the Nash Knight effect, right?
And then chain SP to banish the Nash Knight afterwards.
That's what I'm meaning. Because right now I don't think... Oh, there is Phantasma in his deck, by the way, but I don't think you can really get the on-summon effect going because that just requires you to have too many monsters to go into. And like your only other link monster really in the extra deck is Silhouette Rabbit, which you cannot link off. Therefore, I think you just go into the SP Little Knight and then use the second effect of it on the field.
But if you don't have the first effect, your problem is activating Millennium Ankh because it's going to get rid of your own SP Little Knight.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think you kind of have to force it. Now there is the proof that Sengenjin is not at 1 in the TCG, by the way, is being put to the spell trap zone here. And now can special summon itself back out. That is going to be some damage as well.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, you don't truly fear about any potential effect of Izuna. For example, since Lupus is in the banishment zone. So I think the only problem is Nash Knight if Omar plays another target and has not been banished through Pot of Prosperity. And I think it is one of those scenarios that you have the advantage and that you can play through this field because, as we mentioned, even if Vanquish Soul will be drawn, there is a very tough situation with revealing the correct attributes, right?
I mean, well, maybe we just try to not do it with the Exodia, right? Maybe we just try to put up as many of the Millennium monsters here to just get over the Nash Knight and then still do the only 5,000 required points of damage here on Omar's side. And of course, there always is the possibility for Snake Eyes Doom Dragon as well. If we do get another Millennium monster into the Spell Trap Zone here, that could be the way to bait out the Nash Knight if he has another way to put a Millennium monster into the Spell Trap Zone here. That would be our way to glory. But that looked like he was announcing Battle Phase there, to be honest.
I mean, if he wanted to go for the Snake Eyes Dragon, then he could have just let the Golem stay in the Spell Trap Zone and fuse that away together with Phantasma.
Okay, that's huge though. With just announcing Battle Phase, we have baited out the Nash Knight. Nash Knight can only go after one of those, honestly, monsters we can afford to give over to our opponent. And now the Millennium Ankh, of course, is so much more powerful.
Yep, now we're going to read... Oh, wait, which one is this? Does that card even have the number in its name?
Yeah, it does. That's the same one we did in the last game.
Yeah.
Or in the first game, rather. And now, time for Millennium Ankh. And Omar looking at his 2 cards remaining in hand. We know there are K9 cards. We know they can't really help him here anymore. And Louis, once again, just aligning the pieces.
But is there another Exiled Fires of Rage in the deck? Are we siding down to 1 card in our main deck going second? Or are we keeping all of them in there? Because in the end phase, this card would be incredibly important to have for Louis. Because otherwise, this is just a spell trap negate. Doesn't help you with anything. On the other hand, does Omar still? Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean, end phase? What are you talking about? Don't we just go for it here? Like, we're going to have Exodia with 4,000 attack points. Sengenjin can just clear the Nash Knight, and then that's more than enough damage that we can have. There is the
Incarnate 5,000, right? He doesn't have a lot of life points left.
Yeah, that is true.
I think this is just the finishing touches of this game, of this match even. I think Louis is about to seal this here with the Millennium Exodia strategy. Oh.
Huge.
Oh wait, I think they're discussing whether we have to shovel back the Phantasma from the spell chat. That's hilarious. Okay, yeah, little detail, it has to go back into the deck. That's funny, but it doesn't matter in the end because the monsters on the field in the monster zones are the ones important here. Sengenjin runs over Nash Knight, and that will be Exodia Incarnate for the game, for the match. Louis, Henry, is he going to do it? First attack.
2,000.
Oh, we're riding it. Okay, we're going step by step.
The Exodia can attack, gain 4,000 attack points. This will be plenty, more than enough to win the game.
It is the
fist
game!
Exodia wins, the crowd is cheering! Unstoppable Exodia!
And I mean, would you expect to see Exodia winning a YCS round 2 in YCS Lille?
When I know that Louis is on the field, sure enough, yeah. Because he always is bringing that. We have had him on feature exactly day 2 of YCS Lille in the last year, and now it's no surprise to me that he's back with it. And I feel like with that boost of that French flag on one of his cards, I think he's a fear to be had here in the field.
Feels like the deck is also kind of well positioned. I mean, this was a very tough matchup with activating the Heart of Blue Eyes versus this Izuna Nash Knight combination. Yeah. But in the other games, the deck just looked fine. Being able to play Lava Golem or a Ras Fear mode is huge.
It is.
And I mean, we saw that Lava Golem going second against the current meta state is very, very important. Just clearing the field without activating any effect is very, very strong. And obviously, you don't need your normal summon. The only issue that I saw with normal summoning is that he had an Exodia piece in his hand, and he could not set it, for example, to have only one card, so K9 monsters cannot be normal summoned. But this is a very, very minimalistic option.
Okay, but let's break it down quickly. How good is Lava Golem really into the current format? Because when I'm thinking about it, Lava Golem on the Yummy field, sure, it will get rid of the Herald, but usually with Surprise, they just have ways to keep on synchro summoning and playing most of the times. So I don't love it against that. Against Draco Tail, their end field either doesn't matter that much or is including Heretic Seals. So tributing Heretic Seals also is a two-edged sword, I would say. So I don't know whether I like that too much either. And then against Mitsurugi decks, tributing Mitsurugi cards also ain't that great, right?
So I think versus Yummy, it's really strong to get rid of the synchro monsters. And against the Draco Tail is played with multiple engines. So you might face a Winder, for example, which can stop you in your tracks quite fast. Or the invoked Caliga package. And that one is incredibly hard to out. Incredibly easy if you have a Lava Golem.
And to be fair, I guess the Yummy, depending on what deck you have chose to play, the real interruption is the Herald, right? For example, if you play Draco Tail, you just need to get rid of the Herald and just advance your game state. Or, for example, for the Millennium Exodia, as we saw, he doesn't care about the effect of Cookie, for example, to set two monsters. He just cares to get rid of the Herald and just advance his plays.
I mean, does he not care about the effect of Cookie? Like, booking Exodia Incarnate feels pretty good to me. I don't know. Well, it doesn't seem that
bad. The defense points are not too high on this monster. The Cookie Yummy way, that is. Cookie, main deck Cookie, of course, just pops the card. It can't be destroyed by card effects, right?
That one is actually problematic for it, indeed. But, I mean, we're theorizing here about Millennium Exodia. I don't think there's that many Millennium Exodia players even in the field. Louis may even be the only one, maybe a couple more, who knows. Would be an interesting statistic to see whether there's more Exodia or Blue Eyes players in the field. Surely it's Blue Eyes players, right? Still, even though it's not as popular anymore, but it has to be, right?
It's still a decent deck. You can still definitely go far with it at Euros. We've even seen a top cut again with our German national champion, Ashana Gilis, who has performed phenomenally with the deck. I mean, he might play it as well again.
Surely. There is absolutely a chance for that, but that for the moment was all. I mean, to be fair, the Millennium Exodia deck from Louis even takes an honorable Blue Eyes card in there as well, right? With Heart of the Blue Eyes, so he's kind of combining it. He's rocking for both of them. He's working for both teams. So he's like the anime protagonist that we have here in our field for this weekend, pretty much.
And I mean, combining two of the fan favorite strategies is really feels amazing, right?
Listen, I will say 3. You have Yugi on Exodia, you have Blue Eyes with Kaiba, and you have the Lava Golem of Marik.
Okay. That's pretty funny. But of course, with that spicy deck, with all that energy from all the different anime characters, we want to hear it from the man himself. Let's give it over to Analyst's Corner with Alberto and Louis.
Thank you. I will do my best.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm here with Zulu, the winner of round 2. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was quite of a match, I have to say, because you essentially lose game 1 and then you come back.
Yes.
So it was an unbelievable match, in my opinion. And I'm glad that you took some revenge from last year when you lost the future match, and this time you won. So first of all, I said congratulations. You're still with Exodia. How do you feel with the deck?
This is my deck. This is definitely my deck. This is the power of the Heart of the Card, you know. And this summer, I just pulled the Exodia French flag card. And I just told to my community, okay, guys, I need to bring this deck in Lille. So I'm in Lille with Exodia.
What a better occasion.
Yes.
And so for game number 1, I have 2 clips for you to show. Because your hand was good, I feel like. But also there's this moment in which essentially all of the combo was shut down by the Izuna. So I feel like with the Silhouette Rabbit you had some options. But I mean, I feel his hand was even better than yours, right?
Can you repeat?
I mean, yeah, that his hand was even better than yours.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and Nash is a very good response to Exodia. But it was a terrible information for me because I didn't practice the mirror match. So it was a kind of a surprise, you know, and a terrible surprise. But the second and the third game was better, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, here essentially it just seals the game, and there was nothing not much that you can do. But for game number 2, he started with 2 Fuvalos.
Oh,
And I think something that I really liked is the Secret Village here with the Unstoppable Exodia. Is this something that you practiced with the Secret Village? Is this something that works out around the various matchups in general?
can you repeat? Sorry.
Yeah, of course. Is it something that you like playing the Secret Village?
Yes, I like to play some powerful card like Secret Village because this summer I don't practice the game and I need to came to Lille with some floodgates and some powerful card. So this is my only way to win. But this is a game.
And I also feel like that the Exod, it's very good card.
Yes. Just Raigeki plus Feather Duster.
Yes. I mean, it always makes the job done. And I also feel like the second copy, it's necessary. Because most of the time I felt like it was the card you really needed. And in that occasion, for example, it really saved you, know? And in the last highlight that I want to show you is this one. Essentially, game 3 was crazy in my opinion, and we couldn't really tell who could have won. But was there a moment in which you felt like I can win this?
Just at the end of this match, because I didn't know well Canine and I wasn't confident to activate effect monster by my hand to bring this Canine effect available. So I wasn't very confident, but I just won and it's
went.
okay.
Yes. It's okay. So, I mean, 2-0, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
We really hope you to see again on stream. And best of luck for the tournament.
Thank you.
And thanks so much. It was a pleasure to see the Millennium Exodia again on stream.
It's my
pleasure.
pleasure.
We will be back soon. Thanks so much for watching.